The tour has been very good. I mean, it's been a healing process as well. The inspiration for what was originally the beginning of it was a one December night was from my mother's passing last May of 2006, on the 31st of May. And at that time, I had said, I wasn't going to perform for a while. I was just, obviously it was the worst day of my life. And I, had, let everyone know that, and I just kind of shut down. It was like my mother came to me, and she said, boy, you better get your butt out there and do what you do. And, death and nothing else can separate us, so do what God has given you the gift to do. So I had postponed this or canceled the performance we were going to do in Hawaii, and I spoke with my person at CAA, and I said, Rob, we're going to do the show, we'll do it. And I found from doing the show, performing, I realized even more how music was my mantra. And it kind of helped me to really heal the pain, as it's still doing now. So I wanted to go out and just go out and thank everyone for their commitment, for their supporting me. The years of my being an artist, songwriter, and musician, and all that, as well. Through their supporting me, it's made it possible for me to have given my mother a far better life than she would have had. So that's really what it's all about.
Wow. So every night is special when someone says that. It truly is for you.
It truly is.
All right. Well, Stevie, and I know you're slated to come here tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, on the 28th, because we've been giving the tickets away and whatnot. Is anything special planned for Charlotte? I know I mentioned to my listeners as they won that there was one show where Prince happened to come up on stage. I read that. Not sure.
Yeah, he came up. We were at Madison Square. He came up, and Tony Bennett came up, and there's a great harmonica player who, as well, his name is Frederick Yane, and he came up, and we just had, we had some fun that night. And so, again, being in the Queen City, I'm sure some exciting things will happen as well when I get there tomorrow.
Now, I know that for you, voices must take on a entirely different meaning than it would for me, because I take it for granted when I'm just looking at someone and I'm hearing them. All the people that you meet, and they seem so overwhelmed by meeting you. What do you do, or what goes on for you as far as an image in your mind? Let's say when India.Arie is on stage singing with you and you hear her voice, what's in your head?
Singing or talking?
Or just singing or talking with any person that you meet. What's in your head? What do you visualize, or how does that work for you?
Well, it more so becomes a character thing. More so comes the character of their personality, of their mood, of their energy, and at some point, of how they look, how happy they are or not of themselves,
mm-hmm.
and how content they are or not, and what our connection is. All those things kind of happen. And sometimes it takes longer than other times, but, there's always definitely that process that takes place.
Okay. So, in listening to my voice, how would you peg me? I'm kind of scared.
Are you somewhat an introvert?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And are you very sensitive?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am. More so these days than others.
Well, you got to work that out.
I know.
God is blessing all of us. We have, those moments where we have, we have up moments, we have down moments. I was saying to someone, I wish that I could really, and I'm sure I will, get with or run into Kanye, because this has got to be, the worst day of his time, the days.
Absolutely.
But, I just feel that, different than I thought about my situation. I had to really come to the reality that as much as I and we wanted my mother as a family, God must have needed her more. And that isn't to say that we don't deal with the pain of it all and all that, but you just got to know that it is such a blessing when you have someone like him or myself. We experience that from having such a great love for our mother, or for those, love for the father, or for the parents, or for your loved one, your husband or your wife, or whatever.
Right.
Your significant other. You have to know that the great thing about all this is that you were able to give them joy, to bring them joy that maybe they never imagined. And so that's the blessing. So in actuality, death is not the winner. Again, the goodness of God prevails.
Now, in keeping with my initial question, just hearing people's voice or just visualizing, getting a picture in your head, I guess that would apply to your love life, because I know over the years it was like never really saw anyone that you may have been involved with or your children. I don't know how you manage that. It seems the paparazzi is driving the other celebrities crazy, but you seem to have done a great job with that. But the main question here is picking your current mate, a beautiful woman, by the way.
Thank you.
How did that connection go down? How did you meet her, and how did you decide she was the one for you?
Well, actually, we met at it was sort of like a restaurant kind of club thing, and it was a promotions night they were having. And I was there with my friend, and so one of the people with me, because I saw someone there that I knew that we had dated for a minute, and she was a school teacher, and it was a nice energy seeing her. Hey. And she was with her friends and all that kind of stuff. And I was like at the club. It was the drummer that works with me, Dennis Davis, was playing with this group that night, because they have a night of auditioning, what they kind of like open mic Tuesday or something like that. And she was there doing a promotion thing for some company, and so my person with me said, "Hey, I got somebody I really want you to meet." To her, he said that. And so we brought her over to the table, and we talked for a minute. She said, I don't know you. Oh, there's some of your music, but I don't really know of whatever. I said, whatever. Give me a break. But we had a good time, so we just began to talk, and we connected, and we talked. We closed the club just talking, and it was just a great energy.
Wow. That's nice. Well, and on the subject of the music, with her saying, with her talking about the music, out of all the songs you've done over the years, and I know it's a lot of great hits, what would be your favorite and why? Or what touches you most? When people
ask me that question, like, what is my most favorite song, I always use a quote that Duke Ellington used to use.
Okay.
And he would say, I haven't written it yet.
Oh.
And the reason I say it is because there are so many different songs for different reasons. I might have a Ribbon in the Sky day, or a Living for the City day, or a Time to Love day, or If Your Love Cannot Be Moved day, or very superstition day, or